see you guys all in the chat. You guys ready to go? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're ready to go. Awesome. Good evening, everybody. March 19th, 2026, 10 p.m. on a Thursday night. It's good to be with everybody again. Third edition of the stream. We're starting to get the hang of it, but also obviously still fairly new on this. Once again, this is how it's going to go. If you have any input, hockey or feedback wise, put it in the chat. We want to hear from you. This show goes as you guys go. The more interaction, the better. We got a lot of good stuff planned today. We got a really good guest. We're gonna obviously run through the week that was, do our between shifts segment, and then we'll close out the show with just some general hockey talk and we talk to you guys. Good. Gee, how was your week?
It's good. Yeah. I've actually been super busy this week, so it's been a little tough. Haven't really kept up with the whole Instagram, Threads, X, and all of that. So I apologize to everyone and Yrvin for kind of dropping the ball this week. But I will make sure all that's updated this upcoming week. Just special shout out to Yrvin for, taking the bull by the horns and getting everything ready for us and having our guests lined up, and really happy to be back for the third week.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but one thing I've realized in taking on this project is really how much work goes into it. Just
100%.
Everything you see on the screen, it did take some time, so I hope you guys appreciate it all. Because we didn't want to just obviously hit publish and just go at it. Want to make it visually pleasing, and obviously we want to give you guys some value in that you're coming here and watching us. And so we really appreciate you guys. We see all the usuals in the chat. We see Taylor, Fangirl, Clay, Callum, Bobby, and Big Brain Rain. Thanks again, Big Brain Rain, for coming by last week. Would love to do it again sometime. Okay. Do you want to get started, G?
Yes. So let's go for a week at a glance for the Canucks.
Let's do it.
Try to do it within a minute. So we have a few slides. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, we're only 3 minutes in. I am not going to go way too in depth into it because I personally did not watch all of the games. I've maybe watched a period of each game and watched the highlights. So,
okay.
I mean, it's that time of the year, right? I mean, they're so-called tanking. If you guys haven't heard it, that's what they're doing. But the games have been interesting this week. The first one, are we going all the way back to the 14th? Yeah, so we're going all the way back to the 14th, and it was the Seattle game. First game that our big guy right here, Curtis Douglas, was playing, and it was also the game that Yrvin and I went. And beside us was the legendary Canuck Clay. So this game in general, I think it was okay. I mean, the score itself doesn't really do themselves justice. I mean, they didn't play a really great game. It was average. It wasn't like what they had when they played Nashville a couple nights before that, and then I think against the Jets, which you can definitely see the effort. This one was so-so. I would say like a 60%, like a 6 out of 10 kind of game, even though the score is 5-2. Not much to say. Douglas was good. Then the game right after that was a Florida game where PD finally woke up, and he got a couple of power play goals. I think all the Canucks fans have been calling for this, especially our guest that's in backstage right now. Shoot the goddamn puck. It was both power play goals, which already explains stop passing the puck. I mean, every power play is typical Canucks fashion. It's pass, trying to find the right connection, right shot, right whatever, instead of just shoot it. Just throw it up and see how it goes. And yeah, they end up winning. And that brings us to, I guess, tonight's game. Yeah, actually, let's go back to the previous slide. So, really like this. Lankinen played very well, with exception of tonight. The last couple of games that he played, with exception of tonight, he actually, got me back on the train, and I thought I had confidence in him until today. I mean, there were some mislaps today, and it is what it is. But this picture is showing who's been hot, I guess. Besser with the bro line, connecting with Marco Rossi and Liam Ogrum. So been loving that line so far. I think for today's game, which I'll probably go more in depth on the post game with the line change, is I really enjoyed the Linus Karlsson goal in the third, I believe, and it was. I have some notes somewhere here, but it was Karlsson with Rossi and Ogren, and it was a great play. Marco Rossi up in front, shot it, came up, and Karlsson with his good eye, hand-eye coordination, just batted it in, and they got board. Okay. Yeah, so tonight's game it came out to 6-2. It's weird because they lost 5-2 against Seattle, won 5-2 against Florida, looking to at least make it a competitive game today, and ended up losing 6-2. I thought it was going to be losing 5-2, but it is what it is. So we don't know, but the upcoming week or upcoming couple of days, the next game is against St. Louis, against our former Canuck, Pia Suter. And hopefully they can pull out a 5-2 or 6-2 and just match these scores. Looking at the roster right here, Robert Thomas has been on fire. He's been getting almost a point a game. I think he is on a point streak. Actually, no, he didn't get a point last game, but he's been on a tear. Snuggaroo, Canuck killer, watch out for him. I would see him getting at least 2-3 shots, maybe a goal. Kyrou, second line, it's okay. Neighbors actually does well against the Canucks also, and the rest are just pretty much, bottom six energy lines.
See,
so we'll see how that game goes.
Ivar's brother in the third line there.
Oh yeah, nice. So at least we get to see. Oh, Otto Stenberg, great. I personally have not really looked into this. This has all been Yrvin's work. I'm just here to read off the screen and give my sort of feedback. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. And I am gonna go out there and say, let's go with Clay's favorite score. We'll go 4-2 instead of 5-2, because they lost 6-2. I would love for the Canucks to get 6 goals, but I don't see that happening unless PD comes back again
on Saturday. Hey,
4:00.
Yeah,
I'll be there. If you guys are at the game, come say hi at the first intermission. As always, like Canuck Clay's Corner. I'll be at 316 Legends Locker Room to meet whoever wants to come say hi, talk some Canucks. maybe you guys can give me some ideas on what Yrvin and I should be doing for BS, because I've been dropping the ball and posting stuff on socials. So hopefully if I meet any of you in person, you can give us some ideas and we can run with it and debate it.
We're definitely open to anything.
Yes.
Try to make it interesting. But yeah, we're taking all suggestions. Otherwise, it's just going to be us making up the topics, which is still all good. I'm definitely enjoying the segment. Okay.
Yeah, because Yrvin lost the first week, and now he's back on a vengeance. I made a post on Instagram. I'm like, yep, Gerald won.
Oh, I saw that.
And I'm hoping to give Yrvin a little push so he can take this week, and we'll be tied up, and we'll go to the third week and see how that goes. But yeah, let's continue with the show.
Real quick, moving right along. Thanks for that, Jay. Before being on our guests, I just want to shout out any media inquiries, anybody who wants to jump on the show, anybody who wants us to jump on their show. Our emails are open. headspacexhockey@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter @spaceheadhockey, and pretty much all socials we are Headspace Hockey.
Yeah, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, all Headspace Hockey. If you search us up on any one of those socials, you'll be able to find us. If you have questions, if you have ideas, if you just want to reach out to us, feel free to DM, private message. We'll get back to you, and I'll be on it. So,
okay, I think we're ready for our first guest. I see him pretty cozy back there and backstage. This is someone who contributes regularly to a lot of the other channels we're on. We love his insights, and that's why we thought he was the perfect guy to bring on to moderate BS. And that is Mr. Just Incredible.
Hey guys, how are you doing tonight?
All right. Love
good.
the jersey,
Thank
man.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. No, thanks for having me. I was very humbled by Yrvin's invite just to be on your show tonight. So looking forward to the BS segment and just seeing both of your takes and seeing what sort of topics you guys are going to go back and forth on tonight.
Yeah. Just real quick, we have a lot of friends in this YouTube space that don't consider themselves creators, such as yourself and a few others that I can name. But you guys don't sell yourself short. We're all pretty thoughtful Canucks fans, and that's exactly why we wanted to bring you on the show. So it wasn't just for just we're super friends. It's we think you're bringing value to the stream.
Well, thank you. I'm humbled that you think so highly of me and my takes, but you guys are the ones driving the engine. You guys are having the creative outlet to run this channel, and so all the props to you both and all the work that you have done so far. It's going great, and it's only going to go up from here. So keep it up.
Okay, so real quick, if anybody doesn't know, but
I mean, for me personally, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I've wanted you to be on the show ever since we started. You were probably one of the very first people that knew about this channel, aside from Clay. And Justin and I actually connected through CCC. We went to a game together. We've had long chats, and he's just an overall amazing human being. And in terms of the mental health aspect of things, him and I have talked a lot about it in terms of just relationships between people, relationships with hockey, and that's why I just think he's a great guest to bring on, because he has that wealth of knowledge for hockey, and also in terms of the mental aspects of things on hockey, he'll know how to talk about it. Even though sometimes I get kind of mad at him and but it's at the end of the day, it's personal opinions. We're still friends at the end of the day, but he will keep banging the drum about PD, and I'll just listen from one ear and let it go the other way. So, but he has his takes, he has his reasons. So we'll give him his time today.
Okay. Well, thankfully today's debate is not about Elias Pettersson. If you didn't know, between shifts is our debate segment. We are going to drop a topic that Justin has no idea what it is, and then we're going to flip a coin to decide who gets to argue which side of that topic. So if I pick for, Gerald has to pick against and argue his side. It's just a test of hockey knowledge and looking at stories from both sides. We're going to each get one round of 2 minutes and then another round of supporting statements for 2 minutes. After which, Justin's going to give his take on who gave the more compelling argument, and then you guys in the chat can vote for also who gave the more compelling argument. Now, just to preface, I want all of you guys to remove your biases of what you think. You're strictly judging on who you think gave the more compelling argument, not who you agree with. Maybe you could say who you agree with, but just you're picking it based on that.
So it's on who gave a better argument, as opposed to who you're closer with or which side you sway towards. We're trying to, because I mean, Yrvin and I sort of know the topic. I'm actually kind of nervous about it, but you know, we both have to, like, if Yrvin picks one, I have to pick the other, so I have to fight for that. So it's not necessarily what we both believe in, but it's just giving the facts or how our opinions towards that actual scenario. So if you can vote on that, that'd be great. You know, don't pick favorites. If you like Yrvin, don't be just voting for Yrvin because you like him. Make sure it's like a good argument,
and vice versa.
And hear me out, yeah. And also hear him out if yeah.
You good on that, Justin?
Good to go.
Okay. So since Gerald won last, I'm gonna call the coin flick this time. And
I was just gonna say, why don't you just pick this week? Because I got to pick last week, but
I mean,
would you like that? Or do you want to do the flip?
We'll do the flip.
Okay, sounds good.
Yrvin calls. I'm gonna call tails.
Ooh.
All right, here we go. Okay.
So it's me again. Okay, you know what? You know, I choose to.
Real quick. The topic is the subject of Adam Foote as our coach. Should we keep him or should we let him go? Keeping in mind, there's a case to be made for both, no matter what you think. So, Gerald, which side do you choose?
I'm going to let you choose this week, actually, but I'll choose to go first or second. How's that? Because I got to choose last week.
Okay. I choose the case to pick him, or to keep him.
To keep him. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which maybe
which means for me
controversial,
it's
I know.
Moving on. Okay. Let's see here. Who's gonna start the timer? Justin or
Jesse, you got a timer on your phone?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. If you
So
could,
2 minutes?
if you could do that for us. Just tell Gerald
So-
when to go. Are you gonna go first,
So
G?
I'm gonna argue for firing him, right?
For relieving him of his duties.
Okay, relieving him.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me when.
All right. Whenever you're ready, on the set of 3, 2, 1, go ahead.
Okay, so I think you all know, I think Russell's given some good takes on, you know, why Adam Foote is here. I think mainly because even in the WHL as a head coach, I don't think he lasted a full season, not a winning record. Even with the Canucks right now, it's a losing record. And it's honestly, if it wasn't for a year of tanking, this is kind of unacceptable. And to succeed someone like Rick Tocchet, who had a winning season. He was the coach of the year, and now to have him, it's like one's up here and one's down here. And I think it's how he deploys his lines, his systems, and all of that. And you know, the grab bag just goes in, grabs whatever name out and throws it out. Even today, there's just line switching nonstop. It came into a whole jumble. Sometimes it works for him, sometimes it doesn't. But there's times like, I remember like the Karamaki scored a goal and then he ended up being benched for the rest of the game, not even getting to play OT. So I'm not really confident in his style of coaching. Loved him as a player, but you know, not all great players can be great coaches. Example, Wayne Gretzky with the Arizona Coyotes. And I think he just needs to open up a little bit in terms of, you know, go with what works. Like the bro line is working right now, go with that. But, you know, listen to other people. Maybe put the Swedish line together. And we just want to see good effort. We want to see, they don't have to win every game, but the effort has to be there. And it just kills the whole vibe and, you know, the chemistry if you keep playing these lines that are, you're banging on the drum, you keep banging on it, and it's not working. So time to move on and get a new coach and, you know, get some effort into it.
Good. All right. Interesting take.
Did he use his full time?
Yeah, he did use his full 2 minutes. So, Yrvin, you're up.
I didn't even do that. Okay.
Yeah. But interesting take. So now, Yrvin, you can go ahead and plead your case starting in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
All right. In the case of Adam Foote, I understand that this season is not going the way anybody wanted. Least of all for the Vancouver Canucks. For the management, I mean. In Adam's case, you know, he's only coaching what he's given. And you look at what's happened with our center depth, for one thing. We lost Bluger and Heel right away, first month of the season. And then they brought in Reichel, who's not even a center, and they asked him to play 2C. They brought in Kampf, all these patchwork things. And then in the middle of all of it, we lost our best player in Quinn Hughes. And it just kept compounding from there, you know. We lost Sherwood, who was our top scorer. And then we lost Myers, who was like our longest tenure D-man. And then we lost Connor Garland, who was in a lot of ways heart and soul guy. So if you add it all up, it's just a lot of factors that are out of his control. You know, can you fault him for that? Maybe, but he's also a fairly new coach. He didn't necessarily ask himself to get hired. He's just, like I said, he's dealing with the card that he was given. I think if you really want to, you should just do it next year, if anything. See what he can do with like a fresh start for training camp, especially given the fact that all these kids are going to be that much older and more mature when that season starts, right? And when I say kids, I really mean kids. It's first year guys. I don't know if you guys watched Dice and Ice at all, but every year they have a lip sync, and it's the rookie lip sync. And this year they had like 8 guys. That's so much more than most other teams have to deal with. Time?
Yeah.
Okay. That went by fast.
It does go by fast. 2 minutes is not a long time, but okay. No, interesting arguments from both sides. I guess the next statement is Gerald. I'll turn it back to you. Any counters or any challenges to any of the points Yrvin made? I'll give you 2 minutes as well, and you can start in 2, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
Oh, wait, he's muted.
I think. Oh,
okay, good. You're good.
You're good.
am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, we're good. Okay, let's restart that counter. Okay,
All right.
I see
3,
it. Okay.
2, 1, go ahead.
Okay, injuries are not an excuse. It's how you deploy an actual team. I would say let him go at the end of the season. I'm not saying firing him now. There's only like 12 or 13 games left, so it's not as of right now. But injuries, it's kind of an excuse. Look at Abbotsford Canucks and how they were depleted with players that were injured, and they had players move up to the big club. So if Abby was going through that and Holtra could deal with it, why can't Adam Foote? A perfect example right here is I'm going to show you sorry. So this is Adam Foote. I played for the Avs, but he was also the head coach of, sorry. Anyways, I'll show you that after that stat. But the point is, he was the coach of the Rockets, and they had a losing record the whole time. Same players, same everything, but coaching change. So he coached until 2020, 2021. They played, 16 games and had 10 wins. And actually, no, sorry, they had 29 wins. 28 losses in 2019, 2020. And then starting in 2020, 2021, it went up to 42. That's after a coaching change. Same players, no difference. So with that said, it just means, yeah, he's a rookie coach, but he still hasn't learned from his WHL time. And it's just a deployment. We all see this. We all see, unless you want to tank for next year, you can keep him as a tank commander, but if you don't want to tank and you just want to see good hockey, then a new coaching change is needed.
Okay, good points. Yrvin, same opportunity based on the points that Gerald made earlier from his opening statements. I'll give you 2 minutes as well, just to counter and give your takes on some of his points and to challenge those. In 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think almost he kind of makes a bit of a point for me, right? So because what this team needs is a bit more tanking, and if you're into that, then he's your guy, right? The other thing is that I don't think a new coach is really gonna do anything for this roster moving forward. We're going to lose Kane, and we're going to potentially draft one of the top 3. And really, what else do we have on this roster? Like I said, it's young guys who are green. We've got Elias Pettersson, who is struggling. Brock Besser, he's looked alive lately, but he's a bit of a shell of his former self. So outside of this debate, I personally have never believed that we were built to do very well, and that's even with all the guys we traded away. We're just fundamentally flawed. The other thing too is I hate blaming the coach, just in general, as a general rule, especially with guys who have been here a long time. Who are they to be above fault? And then we just keep on firing guys like Travis Green and Bruce Boudreau and Rick Tocchet left, but he gets thrown under the bus a lot. So yeah, with or without this segment, I tend to believe that firing the coach really gets these guys, like, lets them kind of get away with what's been going on in the past few seasons. That time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. All right. Very interesting counters from both of you.
Wait. No. Okay. I need 1 more minute. Because I gave him the in. You know what? I gave him the in. I'm like, yeah, if you're going for a tank, then yeah, you can keep him. But here, I need to clarify one thing. Doesn't matter if you're tanking or not. Sorry, Yrvin, you can rebuttal on this one.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if you're tanking or not. Okay? You just need a coach that can actually bring the kids up, give them opportunities, give them reps. Like, why did you sit Atu Ratu for what? I don't even know how many games before he finally jumped in. It was like 5-6 games. Atu Ratu was the best face-off guy on the team. He's physical, and you're sitting his ass over Kampf and whoever else. Sasson's now moved on to the wing, but Sasson was playing fourth line. So in terms of that deployment of players, it's just terrible. Why would you be sitting someone who needs the reps? Second one is Niels Hoglander. Like today, he finally got in. I'm happy. He played okay, but he's been sitting his ass in the press box for how long now? It's things like this that needs, new coaching, because you need to allow these players to get the opportunity to play, make the mistakes, not make a mistake and get benched for the whole period and overtime. It's about giving them the opportunity to grow and flourish. He's not giving that opportunity. So I don't care if it's a tank or not. You want these kids to improve. So in a couple of years, they will have that opportunity. They'll have the adversity or, the mistakes that they learn from on how to play the game. And Adam Foote's definitely not giving him that.
Okay.
Okay.
One thing I want to add is I didn't know you were going to bring up some websites. I wasn't prepared for that. I just had whatever I had off the dome. I will just reiterate, this team is largely being represented by guys like Pedersen, guys like Besser, and just look at their price tag and it says it all. And they have been and were very exciting players in this generation, in this era, but we don't really have that much to show for it. We have the bubble year in the playoffs that they barely even made, and COVID basically saved their ass. And then we had the 2024 playoff year where PD didn't even show up. So to hang that all on the coach this season does not seem fair to me. Again, you can fire Foote and bring in somebody new, but it's going to be largely the same result until you turn this team over, which is, I understand it's a bit of it's a different subject from the coach, but I just feel that, it's just not fair. And I generally, I don't like calling for guys' heads, yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
All right. Good points from both of you and rebuttals. Any final closing statements? I'll give you guys probably about a minute and a half each for any final closing statements, and then we will go to the chat to vote.
Nothing really to add. I love this segment. I love G's passion. The look on his face right now.
It's great.
This is exactly why I wanted to start this channel. This is awesome.
This is one of the most unique segments out there on the Canucks community, and it really allows fans' passions to really come out and have a healthy debate and conversation. So it's great, It's one of the most creative things out there.
It also helps that I hate both these guys. So no, I'm just kidding. Okay. No, it's because I think I got that Justin in me all of a sudden. Like I can't lose this fight. Like I have a record to keep. Like I'm undefeated. I'm making these points because they're correct. These points are the deployment is terrible, and you need a coach that can actually help these guys mature. Like losing is fine, tanking is fine. I've always said, let it happen naturally. Let them play. Let them make mistakes, and he's not letting the players do that, which is why I want him gone. I personally, I wouldn't have picked this side. I would have argued Yrvin's side, but given the circumstances right now, I have to fight this to the end. And those are my facts.
Fair enough.
All right. So I think that's all the time we're going to give for the arguments and supporting statements. Everybody internalize what we've said. And like I said, clear your mind, and you're voting for who you think gave the most compelling argument. If you really want vote for if you would rather Foot be fired or Foot be kept. But you are more so picking your side based on the statements laid out.
Make it easy. Just put a G or a Y.
Yeah.
Not Justin, because he's not part of this. Because I mean, last week we had people going for rain. I think we'll let Justin decide after he sees. We'll let you guys decide, and then Justin, we'll give him some time to.
Do you need any time, Justin, or?
Yeah. You guys can let the chat vote. Give out the chat a couple minutes to just kind of internalize what they heard from both of you tonight, and vote for you guys, and then I will kind of share a little bit about what I heard, and of course a little bit about my own personal takes on which side I'm on as well.
So chat, if you can throw down a G, throw down a Y, throw down our names,
Big
throw
Mac,
down
you can just
fire,
rewind,
on
okay?
fire.
Rewind if you want to hear it back.
But actually, one last thing. Sorry, if this is cheating, you can void it. But I don't want another Podkolzin. I don't want Niels Höglander to be traded and then he flourishes somewhere else and has a fresh start, which is a big reason why I want Foot gone. Like, we need Ratu to stay here with the young core. We need Höglander to stay here with the young core, Carlson. And that's why Foot needs to go, because he doesn't know how to bring these kids up. So.
Unfortunately, I think my GoPro died, so switching cameras. Okay. J Money.
So we got one for Yrvin, one for me so far, I see. Actually, two? No, wait. Same thing. No, Fangirl voted for both of us.
She
How
switched.
does that work?
Oh,
You switched.
Fangirl switched it up.
No, Fangirl says, yeah, Gerald 100% has my vote. Foot needs to go. Okay. So that one's a change. Chat, we have at least almost like 24 people in here.
Yeah, I expect to see more votes. Comment.
We need your feedback. We need your feedback to make this happen. Stevie, who do you pick Japan for?
Don't be shy, guys.
Yeah,
Nick,
Shannon,
Simon,
Bolton,
Tyler, I see you guys. Big Mac, Bobby.
Taylor.
and
Dusty was in here earlier, wasn't he?
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. They are saying to do a poll. I don't know.
Yeah.
How to do it.
do a poll. If people want to remain anonymous so that they don't want to be seen as playing favorites or anything, do a poll. Just make an anonymous poll.
I don't think we have it on StreamYard. We have to go through
YouTube Studio.
Tyler's struggling to pick a side.
Yeah,
You're not the only one, Tyler.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask one of our creator friends, and next time we will definitely do a poll.
Caleb, whether Gerald's side or Yrvin's side, of whether you want to keep Foot or fire
Evelyn,
Foot.
Evelyn, I see your comment. Does that mean you're siding with me?
Okay. I'll do the poll right now.
Okay, go for it. I think that means yes in Spanish.
And fire.
Well, while everyone's commiserating, we can Jay, cool if you keep around and chop it up for a bit talk about some other topics.
Yeah, let's give Justin some time.
Justin, like I said, he's a very thoughtful guy. That's why we brought him on. And there's a lot of stuff going around the league that we can talk about. I have a few.
Let's talk. Yeah.
Okay, so this topic is in regards to what I like to call loser mentality. People always complain about, Florida is getting favored because there's no taxes there, or, Canada wouldn't have lost the gold medal if it wasn't for 3-on-3. Now, the playoff bracket, the divisional brackets, has become a big subject, and I know that they were talking about it at the governor's meeting. Bettman himself has pushed back and says he likes it the way it is. I was wondering what your take is on that.
No, I completely agree. There is a lot of loser mentality being discussed in the world of hockey, not just in the Canucks world, but in general. We've seen it time and time again with the Olympics, with the formatting of the playoff brackets and the divisional rivals. And I can see why the league has formulated and strategized their format this way. It's just they want to develop those internal rivalries among divisions. But at the end of the day, that's just the way the format is. It applies to every single team league-wide. So I don't see why it's not fair. I don't see everyone's playing under the same rules. As much as you might not like the formatting of teams that are doing better in the other conference and, possibly missing the playoffs compared to the other conference, that's just the way it is. The games play out on the ice. They don't play out in the standings, and points are up for grabs every single night. And it's up to the teams to perform and play to the best of their ability to accrue those points. It doesn't matter if you're in the East or in the easier division or, a Western conference that's possibly, central heavy and the Pacific is weak. That's just the alignment of the divisions and the conferences itself. Everyone's has to play by the same rules league-wide. No one's favored. And, fans or media that criticizes it other ways really needs to just kind of accept it for what it is. It's not an unfair advantage for one conference or one team or anything in particular, So it's, the whole Olympics 3-on-3. Everyone knew about the 3-on-3 in the Olympics months in advance of the tournament even beginning. So it's not a surprise to fans, not a surprise to committees and the teams that participate. And, that's just the way it unfolded. Obviously, it's unlucky for Canada to have lost somehow on the short end, but that's the game of hockey. You can be beaten on any given night by any given team. So, and I'm not afraid to admit it. The U.S. was better in the gold medal game. So
on that one play.
Yeah, on that one play.
Okay.
And that's all it takes. In overtime, it's one play. One mistake is all it takes.
Yeah.
And, McCarr pinched at a bad time, and credit to the States for taking advantage.
Yeah.
Canada dominated 60 minutes, but it all comes down to overtime. It's one play, one mistake, and Canada made it. So we got to give credit to the States for taking advantage and being optimistic during that time. So,
G.
Okay, hypothetically, if it was not 3-on-3, let's say if it was 4-on-4, or let's say it was 5-on-5 overtime, sudden death kind of thing, do you think US still would have won?
5-on-5, I think Canada is more structurally bound, solid. They have a little bit more structure from the front end to the back end, of course, but at the end of the day, the last line of defense is the goaltending. And no matter how I look at it, Binnington showed up for the big games. I still got to give the advantage in net to the U.S.
Hellebuck?
Yeah, Hellebuck.
Okay.
Even with his reputation of not showing up in the big games and everything or choking in the playoffs, at the end of the day, stats speak for themselves. And I honestly think Hellebuck is a better overall goaltender than Binnington, right? So structure can be there, but again, 5-on-5, 4-on-4, all it takes is one mistake and one play. So it doesn't matter if it's 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 or 5-on-5. One play, one mistake. At the end of the day, you're counting on your last line of defense, which is your goaltending, to bail you out. And as great as Binnington has done in those big games, I still got to give the overall edge to Hellebuck States.
So let me ask you one more question. With back-to-back years of international hockey that we've had, so 4 nations and then the Olympics.
Yeah.
Which version did you like better? Like
I personally love.
Which one was more exciting?
It's a toss-up because it's a different roster composition. As a Team Canada fan, I thought the 4 Nations team was a lot more exciting. It was great to see Celebrini step up as a 19-year-old and dominate in the Olympics the way he did. But I still think there were some initial roster flaws from the Canadian Olympic selection compared to Four Nations. There were a lot of omissions. I think Horvat had a great season, but I think he's a lot of redundant pieces in Horvat, Suzuki. It was a shame that Point wasn't able to go, Sorelli, and some of the depth guys that played their roles extremely well in Four Nations, and we saw that. But in terms of the overall game and in terms of the overall speed, Olympics by far. That was the best quality hockey because it's best on best, not a knockdown Four Nations tournament between four teams, right? Even teams like Switzerland or Czech Republic, Czechia, they had their moments in the Olympic tournament that really exemplified how much talent there is across the league. And it was great to see all these nations represented on the best on best tournament, right? So by far, quality of play, Olympics takes it. And I will always stick with that over any sort of all-star game or all-star, international tournament. But in terms of roster composition, I think Canada was better built for success at the Four Nations.
I thought.
How about you, Yrvin?
I thought as a wrinkle, the reffing in Four Nations, the style that they did was better. It's just because it was NHL style, and not to sound xenophobic, but if you're playing with NHL players and it's supposed to be a pro game, you need NHL refs. It's a cut above. Maybe some of the international refs can get there, but they're just not. And the way they call penalties and don't call penalties was pretty glaringly obvious in the Olympics. As far as prestige, obviously it goes to the Olympics. When you're talking about why it's so important to these guys, they want to be able to say, hey, I'm on the same level of a Michael Jordan, a Muhammad Ali, Michael Phelps. There's so much history there, right? But the Four Nations still had a lot of emotional involvement, right? And what better timing than all the comments that were made by Donald Trump beforehand, and then remember the booing of the anthems?
Yeah,
we don't even talk about that anymore. But that was all happening like weeks before the Four Nations, and then with the three fights in 9 seconds,
that was crazy.
It showed like these guys.
That was amazing. It was so much fun.
And it just got all the fans into it. I think whether you were Canadian or not, or US or not, I think people really took notice with that. Hard to say. I would say if they could compete for the gold medal in the Four Nations style, that's what I would go for.
No, but to be very honest, I think during the Four Nations, the political climate was really crazy. It was Trump's first term in January. Tariffs were announced. Canadians were not happy with the U.S. So the hockey players sort of represented Canadians in a way that you know what, this is our game. You're not going to take it away from us.
Yeah.
And that's why the game was so much better. And the refereeing was more consistent. The comment that I just showed earlier was just the refereeing in the Olympics was atrocious because they were worried they were going to mess up. Like if they called something, like the only thing they would call would be these high stickings and all of that. Didn't call too many men. I think Finland lost because of that and had to play for bronze. Canada didn't get a power play. They could have won the game before it went to overtime because that penalty wasn't called. So to be very honest, everything added up, Canada could have won, to be very honest, because the refereeing kind of skewed it one way. And it felt like, US needed to win something. Canada won the game at Four Nations, which already said something. But the last time the US won a gold was 1980. and that was Miracle on Ice.
Right.
So from my point of view,
Which
they're
in and of
bound to
itself had
win somehow.
huge political implications
Yeah,
at that time.
right? Because it was during the Cold War at the time.
Yeah.
So for the U.S. to win at that point, it meant a lot. And the gold medal game was actually the anniversary of Lake Placid. So and lastly, just one last thing, is that U.S. had to win, because what the U.S. team did, they bonded as brothers, and you can see it. And what they did with Gaudreau's sweater, jersey, to bring it out, bring the kid in to take the picture, if they didn't win, they wouldn't have had that chance. So I think, in my mind, it had to be done this way. Like it's sort of paying respects to Johnny Gaudreau and his family. And because of that, we can give up that gold medal. They won silver. They didn't lose. I mean, they obviously didn't get gold, but they won silver. So that's still second best in the world.
Still proud of those guys.
Nothing to be ashamed of. And you should be proud of all the Canadian guys that went to the game and played their hearts out. So
one thing I do want to discuss is the whole aspect of refereeing. You know, during the Four Nations, it was NHL rules, NHL reffing. Do you think a lot of that familiarity among the refs was they knew how to ref the NHL game? And then in the Olympics, where it was like an international ice surface, international, format, we haven't had best on best Olympic hockey for for so long that the familiarity of how to ref a best on best tournament, not according to NHL rules, could have played a factor into some of the bad calls that were made during the Olympics, right?
100%.
Perhaps, but getting back to the point that I was making about loser mentality, you have to make your own breaks, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's shitty that if it doesn't go your way, but you have to put yourself in a position to win at the very least. Whether it's 3-on-3, 4-on-4, NHL refs, international refs, divisional brackets are 1 through 8.
I completely agree with you. Yrvin. You know, you got to make your breaks.
Yeah, this is a life lesson. There's so many things in life that are going to be out of your control. You just have to, prepare for the worst, expect the best, always.
Yeah,
I love that mentality on it.
Good mentality right there.
That's a great mentality.
That's something that I hope the chat takes away as well. Whether it applies in hockey, whether it applies in your own personal life, things are going to be out of your control. It's how you respond to those instances and
Oh. Did we lose him?
Connection issues. But what I think Justin is trying to say. Oh, he's back.
He's back.
You cut off for a second.
Oh no. Okay. I was just echoing what Yrvin was saying. You got to make your breaks, and I hope that's something the chat takes away from tonight's stream, is to be able to apply it in your own personal lives, that when things are out of your control, it's okay. That's just life, but it's how you bounce back. It's how you are able to be mentally strong and respond to that is going to say a lot more about your character, right? So it's such a perfect tie-in, considering your inspiration behind the channel and everything about, as much as we love the Canucks, it's important to take away the mental health aspect of it as well, and to be able to use it in our own lives on a day-to-day basis as well. So, continue to bounce back and make your breaks and stay strong no matter how things might go sometimes. And that's a good reminder. So,
okay. Justin, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah. As we're winding down, before we lose you to the internet connection, whose side were you with on the student ships?
All right. So both of you made very compelling arguments. Overall, I thought both of you made good points that could have swayed my take in either direction. Personally, I will. There are no ties. This is the NHL. There are no ties. I'm going to have to give the edge to Yrvin tonight, just on a slight edge, because of the fact that, some of the points he made, as much as we need, as much as I agree with Gerald on the line deployment's been horrible, not giving opportunities to the young guys, I strongly resonate with that you want the development and you don't want another Podkolzin situation to happen. A lot of the people that we brought in from trades, Ogren, Rossi, those guys are new young Canucks. Buam, they don't know the system yet, even though they came in. And it's going to take a lot of time for this young group to gel. And I think it's, as much as development is important to the future direction of this team, of the young players, I also have to strongly agree that organizational stability is something that's just as much needed going forward. We cannot be firing a coach after every 1.5 years. It just shows very poor organizational decision making. It shows that there's no leadership and no foundation to fall back on. And I agree with some of the comments that the chat made. Japan 4 was saying firing coaches is a bit of a cop-out. It's always the coach that gets the axe first, and they're always the scapegoat when things go wrong. Yes, it hasn't been a successful season on any parts, and a lot of that does have to fall on the role that Foot plays. But I also think Foot got out an unfair hand this year. A lot of the factors that Yrvin listed out, injuries, not getting a full healthy roster at any given time. His decision-making is questionable, but at the same time, where are we going as an organization and as a team in the next year or two anyways? Where firing him right now, or even at the end of the year, is going to bring this team closer to a Stanley Cup sooner. This team needs to
It's not, actually.
Exactly.
It's not. Because
this team needs... A new coach isn't going to help right away. I'm not saying that Foot is the savior or anything by any means, but I'm just saying give Foot another year with hopefully better injury health luck with some of our players, and a struggling Pedersen who can hopefully bounce back and allow some of the young guys to be able to play. Whether Foot's line deployments or anything is questionable, I still think it's not the right time for us to be firing Foot, considering we still have so many steps to take, especially during this rebuild, that ownership has now supposedly 100% supported. What's the rush in firing another coach? I don't think Aquilini is going to, want to pay another coach to not coach this team and then have to hire another person. And it's not necessarily guaranteeing that the Canucks are going to be any better with a new coach next season, even if some of the young guys are going to get more opportunities to play. Right?
Okay. Hypothetically, we don't have a lot of time, but hypothetically, I'm going to throw this out there to both of you.
Yeah.
If we had Malhotra jump up and coach this team, you know how Malhotra coached, and you know how they did the Calder run, and he had all the kids. Development was great. You saw a huge, increase in confidence, skill-wise, with players like DPD, Lekaramaki, Carlson. And under Foot, there really hasn't been. So we'll take aside all the ownership issues. We don't have to worry about that because we're not paying them.
Yeah.
But Foot's only on contract for an extra year.
So
they would basically just have to burn 1 year.
Yeah.
And the only reason Justin is on Yrvin's side is because he wants a tank.
No, while I agree that Malhotra is probably the better candidate, the only other thing I worry about Malhotra is his NHL experience. He hasn't had any sort of NHL coaching experience. And neither has Foot, but at least Foot was an assistant to Tocchet. So he was side by side when Tocchet was here. He understood the coaching developments, the systems. And I think part of why Foot was internally promoted to begin with was that when Tocchet left, Quinn Hughes was already saying that Tocchet was one of the best coaches that he ever played for. So I think the organization made a decision to internally slide Foot over so that the transition would be a lot easier on Hughes. Whether that was the right decision, obviously with Hughes gone now, is, you know, they did that coaching hire, I think, to make Hughes happy. And so that the similarities between Foot and Tocchet having similar systems would be a lot easier for Hughes to adjust. But
they're entirely different, though, the systems.
They are entirely different because, you know, one is more defensive, and obviously Tocchet has his way with, you know, younger players. He didn't trust Kuzmenko. He didn't trust, you know, some of the younger guys either, and we're seeing that in spades with Foot. But I'm just saying, in terms of going forward as a team and where we are at our life cycle of a rebuild, firing Foot isn't going to do anything right away. You know, I don't think a new coach is going to be able to elevate this team back to, you know, exciting, contending hockey anytime soon. And I think that's why I think you have to give Foot the benefit of the doubt, at least for this season. You know, start him off for a couple months next year. And if things continue to be bad and he continues to make some of those questionable line deployment decisions, then, you know, then we can revisit this discussion of whether he should be fired back then, right? So.
Okay, see, if I got to pick, I would do that too. But I like I said, I have to fight for firing him because that's my side today.
Yeah, I completely. You had a tough take because you even, you know, made some points yourself that kind of aided Yrvin's argument tonight as well. And even though you rebutted those points, you know, I gotta, you know, I caught that, and as a, you know, I gotta be a fair moderator, and I gotta take that into consideration as well. You know.
But here's the caveat: I'm gonna end the poll. We did a poll.
Okay, what does the poll say?
We had 20 votes.
Okay.
And there we go. Can we show this? I can't really show it on screen, but
we can just say there was 20 votes, 40% for Gerald, 5 Foot, 35% both have good points, and 25% Yrvin don't fire Foot.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
interesting.
But we both had good takes, right?
We both had very good takes. And that's another thing I forgot to mention earlier about the deployment of the ice time and playing the young kids and letting them make mistakes. I agree with that. But at the same time, this is the NHL. You got to earn your ice time. You know, as much as you are young kids, as much as you are developing, you got to earn the trust of the coach. And whether Foot is that coach or not, that remains to be seen. But that applies to whether you're Pedersen. That applies to whether you're a $12 million, $11.6 million franchise 1C, or whether you're an $875,000 rookie on the fourth line. You got to earn your line. You got to earn your ice time. And you can't be guaranteed ice time just because at the sake of development. So, you know, if you're petitioning to give the young guys ice time or give, you know, some of the vets more ice time than Evander Kane, you know, what have they done to warrant that? And what kind of standard are you setting for the future core? You know, as a coach, you know, I think what is questionable with some of his decisions on line deployment, but at the same time, I also think he's a competitive guy. And I also think he wants the team to learn lessons along the way, that nothing is given in the NHL and that you got to earn that time. So it might answer some of the questions on why Pedersen was benched on the third period. You know, maybe he's teaching a lesson to some of the young kids that I don't care if you make $11.6 million or you're a franchise 1C for this team. If you make mistakes and you don't deserve the ice time, I'm going to play other guys over you. So I think it's a good lesson for the entire team.
He did come back out.
Yeah.
But PD did come back out.
I think there was one game where he was benched for the entire third, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think those are the little moments in between throughout a long season that you got to teach those lessons to both veterans and young players. And I think the young players are going to learn those lessons the hard way and be held accountable. And it's only going to benefit the team better in the long run and understanding their chemistry and their role on this team. So
I think we're gonna end on this comment. I think Steve Japan 4, said it right. Like if they get a new coach and they start getting the bump, it's gonna be a hybrid of
oh my
rebuilds.
God, the
And I
infamous
don't think
coach bump.
any of us want that.
Just think if we'd
Right.
kept Boudreaux at the time that we did, we were right on our way to draft Bedard potentially.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways, gosh, Justin, I think we could go for hours, but
Great show, guys.
we do try to commit to keeping the show to only one. I wish we could get to all the comments. Justin, we're gonna let you go, and then we'll.
Sounds good.
We'll
Thanks
catch up
for having
soon,
me,
sure.
guys.
appreciate you, brother. Thanks for
Appreciate
coming
both
on.
of you. Keep up the great work, and thanks for having me.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see you again soon, brother.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, Doc.
You too.
Gee, we're a little bit over time. Clay's already started, but I know these guys are raring to get their voices heard, which is what we really wanted for the show.
Dude.
Do you want to get to some of the comments?
Yes, because we actually have more viewers than I imagined,
Yes.
staying around. So we have to do this, even if we
Okay.
go over because we said 1 hour to 1:15. So we
Yes,
have
and
another.
Callum, I
10 minutes.
see everything. Like I said, we're only in our third episode, and this is something we're still getting used to. And time management is a big part of that. There's a lot we want to accomplish with the show, and obviously fan interaction is a big part of it. There's a lot of progress for us to make. Guys like Clay, guys like Russell, and Nothing Is Perfect. What they do is not easy in terms of skimming the chat, reading it, responding thoughtfully. So I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you guys for being here.
Appreciate you guys.
First one. Callum McKenzie, we ain't firing a coach on a money contract if we don't need to. Exit interviews from the players may affect this, but Foot is good at losing. He seems to be egotistical and delusional. Egotistical and delusional, that's hard to say, because that's you're getting into his mind, and we can only judge him on the decisions that he's making, because we're not in the room. We don't know what he's saying, but when the camera's off, and that's a good guess, but I would say we don't know for sure. For all we know, the players might like Adam Foote, right? Like the whole reason we fired him, or we hired him in the first place, was because Quinn Hughes, right?
I mean, I have a friend that's good friends with Footy, so I'm gonna ask him some questions.
Okay.
And if I hear back from him, then I'll tell all of you guys. But I think, I agree with everything that Yrvin just said. I'm starring all these messages, so you can go to star. You can keep going,
Sure.
and I'll just
gonna
filter
keep going
through
on
it,
what
and
I
then
see.
we'll try to go. Yeah.
Taylor Betts, the retooling shit doesn't work. We need consistency, get in the playoffs, and stay there, and actually eventually be Stanley Cup. Yes, I 100% agree. I want something with a long contention window. As fun as 2024 was, it was just a flash in the pan, and then we're right back to where we didn't want to be. And I remember when it was spring 2025, we still had Quinn, and there was this idea that, remember, we were going to trade the 15th overall pick for a 2C. Remember that? Where the idea was, package it up with Lecker-Mackey and Willander, and then get a 2C. Like, that's a lot to give up for one player, right? And that's what you have to do. That's what it costs. But I don't think we were in any position to do that, and it would have made it this era of tanking way longer if we had done that. You look at Minnesota and how they bought Quinn Hughes. There was a lot of fans who were like, "Oh my gosh, 3 players plus a first." Like, you talk to some of the Wild fans. There's a lot of hand wringing, right, when it went down. As good as
there
Quinn Hughes
was. They were pissed because they wanted Buem.
Yeah, they're in
I
a
remember
different
during
position,
that
obviously.
trade deadline.
They're in a different position because they want to win now. We want to get to a place where we want to win. So there's no case for retooling. We have to draft if we want to get good talent in the door.
Okay, I need to show this one quickly.
Go for it.
Prick Freddy, I got called a troll for suggesting that Hoglander could be traded with the 33rd pick this draft for a 10 to 15 pick this draft so we can get the Ruck twins. Top 3 pick plus 10 to 15 pick plus the 22. Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening, but I don't, like I said, I don't want the team to give up on Hoglander because he played a pretty good season before he got the extension. And then he got injured. He had a good start in preseason too. I've been always saying, I want to see that Swedish line, or as Tyler would call it, Swedish touch, to play together. Like you have Hoglander on the left wing with PD and then Carlson on the right, or even like Ogren. But since we have Ogren who can play the left, then yeah, Hoglander can be expendable. Trade him with either the Minnesota Wild first round pick or the Vancouver second round pick and trade up higher or lower. I mean, wherever the positioning works for the Ruck twins, that's where I would do it. If we're gonna get the Ruck twins, I'd be okay with letting Hoglander go. But if it's nothing more, if it's for some other prospect that we don't really know of, like I really want twins back in the city.
But like your idea is we have the next pick and then we trade for the next pick after so that we are guaranteed to get them. Is that like kind of your idea?
Yeah. So I mean, because with Ottawa getting their pick back, that's the 32nd pick, right? So if for some reason they're able to, if there's nothing for the Minnesota pick, or if they're able to, like say they get third, then you're out of luck with McKenna or Stenberg. Then might as well trade that one down to anywhere between, I would say 7 and 10, and then get that extra pick that's closer to the Ottawa, and then somehow package something to get picks at the end of the first round or at the beginning of the second round to get both the Ruck twins. That is the ideal scenario.
And Prick Freddy, I don't know who called you a troll. You're entitled to your own thoughts and your own opinion. Real quick, Gerald, I wanted to ask you in regards to Hoglander, because it seems to be a topic of discussion here. Just real quick, what do you think his ceiling is?
Top 9 for sure. On a bad team like the Canucks right now, I could potentially see him on the second line.
So
because he has that fight in him. He's a gritty player. He's kind of like a Garland.
Well, I think what I was trying to get to is that, you know, you may want to play him more, but if you're putting him in the top 6, you're miscasting him. As good as he is, I just think that he has a ceiling and he's suited to like a bottom 6 role, like maybe a premium bottom 6,
third line. Much
like Tyler Myers. If you played him more than third line minutes, he really suffered. And if you look at his 24 goal season, it was largely because of the success of the rest of the lineup above him, right?
Yep.
We had 100-point guys. We had Bester scoring 40 goals. PD was on fire before Christmas. We had center depth. We had down the middle, JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, and a lot of times Suter and Bluger. Remember, Suter was the fourth line?
Yeah.
So I think in that situation, Hoglander benefited from a lot of soft matchups, and he was able to feast a lot, skating with guys like Lafferty.
No, but you asking the question about ceiling wise, like I think he has the potential to play second line. He would be a high third line winger. Sorry, a low second line winger or a high third line winger. Like that'd be that sort of ceiling, I would say. Like, but nothing, like he would never be a top line guy. Like he's probably that third line cushion right there. But defensively, do you trust him? That's the question. Because, Boudreaux didn't trust him defensively. So unless he ups his game to play more defensively, then
or you got to line him
where
up.
his spot is, third line.
You got to line him up with somebody who's taking that kind of that responsibility off his hands.
Yeah,
which is a big thing, right? You got to get in with your fit in as far as your skill. Okay.
We're at 75 minutes right now. Just go check the starred messages, and then I'll filter through the last bit end.
Sure. Okay. From Simon, in your opinion, one of your favorite line combinations that Vancouver, I mean, of all time? Here's one that nobody really talks about a lot is in our 2011 President's Trophy year, we had a bunch of injuries in the middle of the season, and we had a line of Kessler with Tambellini and Jannik Hansen, and that line was largely based on, like, it was prime Kessler at the time, but you had Tambellini, who was a water bug, and Hansen, who was a crasher and banger, and I just to me that line was chef's kiss. What else we got?
It was for a very short period of time, but
very short, because obviously their go-to was Raymond with Kessler and Samuelson.
I think I'm almost to the end.
Yeah.
The ones I starred, it's just strictly, I thought it might be interesting. You don't have to go through all of them.
I'm pretty sure this is Witten. This is touching on what we were talking about earlier, as we want something sustainable as far as contention.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's Wit. He messaged me. He's in Japan. He's at the airport right now. He said he was gonna try to jump on, but I told him not to. If he's still here, get off.
This is spending time Evelyn with your wife. From Nothing Is Perfect. She's touching on the Corey Perry curse. I don't know how much you buy into that, but how
that's why I started. That's why I started, because I was like, dude, this is money. Love it.
Okay. And Callum McKenzie touching on Willie Desjardins. If we want to lose, and we ought to tank as our sink. I mean, here's what I'll say about whether you want to keep Foot or fire Foot. I don't.
Which one was it? Was it the Willie one?
Yeah.
Was this the one we were talking about? Okay,
to me, I don't believe that if you keep him, it's specifically to lose, because he's not going to lose. Players don't want to lose. Coaches don't want to lose. It's that you keep him because to me, there really is no path to improve. Like they were talking. Remember that interview? Rutherford was talking about making the playoffs next year.
Yeah,
that's a nice thought, but I don't think they're going to make it. Just on balance, even if you get all these guys back and healthy, you line them up, I don't think we're a playoff team next year. So,
I mean, it's also dependent on Hedl too, right? But the thing is, I think he should call it quits. Not to make him a quitter, but for his own well-being, for his family, for his health, I think he should just hang him up, because you don't know what the next concussion could do to him, right? Could end his life. And I'd much rather we be more clear on that position, because if, say, he retires, that's an extra roster spot we don't have to worry about. As opposed to, we might have him back, we might not. But I don't really want this mushy stuff. Like, I want him to do well as a person. I want him to continue to live on with his kids, watch his kids grow up and all that. But if you have these dumbass players, kind of like, was it, who just got suspended? Was it
Gudis?
And Gudis, yeah, Gudis. If you have players like that doing stupid, cheap hits and whatnot, that could end someone's life. I don't want to see a player in Canucks history, like go into really bad health conditions because of playing for the team. So that's me talking from more of the empathetic side. Yeah, but it also makes more sense that way, right?
Can we end on this one?
Sure.
Okay.
So I won't.
Just as an offshoot. So Perfetti's saying that without the lotto line, P doesn't get 102. That season when Pettersson did score his 102, it was largely without the lotto line. If you recall, it was.
There are facts. If you talk to Witt, we talked to Witt about this,
happier, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of it was with Kuzmenko on the wing, and it was a bit on the power play. But what I wanted to offshoot from this comment was what you think of the case for Pettersson and his legacy. I'm not going to say if I think he should be in the Ring of Honor or not. Definitely he shouldn't have his number retired at this point. But he's sitting at a point where he's number 7 all-time in points. And 1 through 6 and number 8 all have their numbers retired or they're in the Ring of Honor. Where does Petey land in it?
I think this was on Russ's poll, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you retire Petey and do you retire Quinn Hughes?
I think we can. Petey for now.
We should just leave that for next time. What do you think? Because like it's hard to call it out right now. Like if anything, I would retire Besser's number before Petey's.
Mm-hmm.
Because of just that heart and just him committing to Vancouver and saying, I'm not going to ask for a trade. I committed to this. I signed this contract. I love this city. Going to be here. Doesn't matter how bad he was playing the last couple of years, but right now with the bro line, you can still see that fire, that passion that he still has. Like that's what a true Canuck is.
Right.
So I would much rather, at this point right now in time, I would retire Besser's number over Petey's because of that.
One of the reasons I was thinking about this was because on Donnie and Dolly, did you ever watch that show?
Yep. Well, I watched the highlights.
It's not everyone's cup of tea.
It's in the afternoon.
These guys are older and they're not wrong necessarily, but in my opinion, they've got kind of antiquated takes on things. Rick Dollywell, please don't watch this. We might want you on the show.
Hey, we might get Rick on here sometime.
His thing is Tony Tanti. Why isn't Tony Tanti in the Ring of Honor? And I think the stats maybe back it up. But here's what I'll say about Tony Tanti as compared to the guys in the Ring of Honor is that he doesn't have a legacy in terms of anything memorable.
Yeah.
Right? If I say the name Alex Burrows, you know exactly what there is to say about Alex Burrows. If I say Kirk McLean, you're going to talk about the save. You're going to talk about getting the standing ovation in Montreal. Tony Tanti had some hat tricks.
There wasn't any spectacular
it was a little bit before my time, but all these other guys like Stan Smeel, Harold Snaps, who were before our time, they cemented their legacy, right? The 94 team.
Like even
I wasn't even a fan back then, but I can recite to you all the stuff about that run, right? Like, Shane Shirley hit the triple overtime against Calgary, the penalty shot in the finals. They are worming their way into our hearts because these indelible memories, right?
Dude, the amount of overtimes that they won during that run was just ridiculous.
Yeah. That's why they're called the Cardiac Kids.
It was such a, like, if we lived through that and watched that right now, that would be crazy.
Now back to Pettersson. What's your best memory of Pettersson thus far?
His first goal. That's it. I mean, his first goal, also one that he got in Carolina and New York.
Think of some of his moves.
That's about it.
Hughes. What's his signature moment?
It's just the fact that him and Hronek gelled so well that year.
Yeah.
and he was on a tear, just assist after assist. You know, what player has like 4 assists in a game in the NHL? We're not talking about like juniors or whatnot. Like, this is the NHL. To get 4 assists in a game, you know, 6 points.
If you were to make
like,
a case for Besser in the Ring of Honor, I think that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stats are there. You have the hat trick against Nashville. You have his presence in the community. Like,
Dude, just tying that Nashville series. If it wasn't for Besser, they wouldn't have won that series. Right at the end, they pulled the goalie, got it. That goal, and then it went to overtime, and then they won. Bro, that was just that is Besser's legacy right there. Like that. You can say anything about Besser, but because of that, he got us to the next round.
Okay.
Heart and soul guy, man.
Is there anything else?
One last one. We're just gonna end on this one. The draft, this draft, and then the next two are very deep. So I mean, it kind of goes back to what we talked about Foot. Yeah, I mean, if the team, like I said, if the team shows effort and they lose, that's great. It contributes to sort of another tank season, and we keep Foot, and Akko doesn't have to pay him, buy him out, and hopefully we get a chance at DuPont. Then, we're set. So
I'm laughing at this Callum McKenzie comment.
Which one?
Listen, the just silly. Okay. Taylor Betts, I don't know anything about Alexis Joseph. I would love for you to educate us. So what I want you to do, and what I want everyone to do, after this stream is over, or if you watch the replay, get active in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you, because the conversation doesn't have to end here.
Yeah. I mean, we do go through the messages, and like on YouTube for sure, Yrvin goes through it if I don't. Instagram, I'll go through the messages. I actually have to talk to Yrvin because someone messaged us. But like, I check all socials, I just haven't this week. So keep sending us messages, leave comments in these videos, give us a like, give us a sub. Really happy for the turnout today. There's more viewers than I expected today. And we'll be back for BS next week, and I'll post hopefully a poll, or you leave comments and I'll make a poll and you guys sort of vote on what topic you guys want to talk about, and then we'll do it on the next show. But thank you for being here. Really grateful. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Well, it's a good stream.
1.5 today.
Yeah, we will.
Love it.
We'll see you guys next week for Headspace Hockey. I've been Gerald and Yrvin.
I'm Gerald.
See you next week.